But it's not,
I'm not so sure.
Technically, it's about half of what that truck is worth.
Just do a better job at it.
it's in pretty rough shape. So I think we're ready to begin.
I'm sure they're watching.
Yeah.
Now too. I'm not busy anymore.
Then the other guy will get it.
Yeah.
That's the wonderful thing about greed and
He's
avarice.
always a bank.
So it's incumbent upon me to announce each week that these meetings are being broadcast and recorded for public dissemination. They show up on YouTube, I'm told, and crystal clear. So if you're trying to, like me, make a smart remark up your sleeve, apparently it's going out onto the internet and the whole world will know about it. So there's that. Have we read the minutes? Okay, we'll now read the minutes. There is one spelling error.
2015. No,
Oh, right. I know you weren't here, but the issue was non-denominational is contention.
right.
I think you put that on. This sounds like it.
Let's see what the other two guys say.
Interfaith meeting. I thought he said interfaith.
He pressed them.
Right. Instead of
Non-denominational.
instead of non-denominational. That's right.
I had the same thing last week.
These are your minutes to approve, gentlemen, since I was absent.
And I agree with him. We should add that.
You don't get to vote. You're from Hackworth.
No, but I get to say that since I wrote the minutes, that it should say college faith meeting instead of non-denominational.
I'm thinking that most of us are going to be pretty happy with that change. So, right here, you wasted town ink. It's T-O, not T-O-O.
That's exactly.
Other than that,
Spell check was supposed to tell me that.
No.
no, you're supposed to learn that in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
So, other comments or questions about the minutes?
There are 2 public hearings for the Sylvia Conte that,
One in Keene.
yes, they're both in Keene. There's another one on September
November,
17th.
17th and then November.
Yes.
The 17th is for
September?
September 17th.
That's when they tell us how great it is.
Right, yes.
And, okay. Right. I thought you said that, but it didn't say that in the other letter. And by the way, it's going to be in the Sentinel because the guy called today. And I said I thought there would be representatives from there.
Good,
There will.
there will be.
We had talked about this offline, the selectmen, when we were getting together doing something else, and we really think that it's appropriate for us to write a letter on town stationery when the comment period is open. And we'll do that, and we'll put that letter down on the table for folks to look at, and then we'll send it. That seems reasonable. Are you familiar with the timelines for public comment?
Yes.
It's in the notice that we were given
Okay, so
online.
would you make it your responsibility to keep me from not losing sight of this?
Oh, I'd love to draft that letter.
No, just so I don't miss the date.
Oh, yeah.
It's a one-sentence letter in my book.
Joe,
Man,
can I just ask Bobby a question?
well, I don't know.
Bobby,
How does she feel about that?
is she there? Was your intent to just have this once a year, or, because it says, you were going to have the service once a year? Our intent was to do it the same time next year, which would be the fourth Sunday in August.
Well, yeah, and not to complicate things, but I think what's noted here is what Mike said.
Right.
Yeah, and I just don't want to.
That's comment, not policy.
Exactly. You're not saying only once a year.
Right, the selectmen don't intend to regulate this activity at all, but they do intend to comply with the legal advice that we got, which basically says, open it to everybody.
But that doesn't mean we have to use the terminology that he wanted.
No.
Yeah, we can use what we did, that we covered everything.
Just as long as the doors are open.
Well, nobody checks anybody's ID when they cross the bridge.
I think that's a sort of a broader caution about how it's publicized. Because, you know, the world is getting more complicated with the internet, and it's entirely possible that some group will self-organize and come to town that we don't actually approve of and decide that they need to have an interfaith service at Violet's Pool. And it's really clear to me from talking to the attorneys that we're not in a position to say no to anyone.
Right.
So that's the policy. And I approve. I mean, I think that's the way America was built, and let's do that. So can I check that off? Where'd that go? Was that on here?
No.
Wasn't on there.
No.
It's not like that.
I love checking. I love checking stuff off.
With those changes, I will move that we accept the minutes as written.
And you? Excellent. Since you did such a great job of running that interview session the other day, you want to talk about it?
Sure.
Or you want me to?
I stumbled out to say we interviewed 3 out of 4 of our applicants, one of whom did not show.
We did interview the one that didn't show.
Did not interview, yeah. I think we found what we all agreed was our number 1 and our number 2 positions. And we're moving ahead with the number 1 guy to see if we can get his physical taken care of and get the ball rolling to get him in the hiring process. So steps forward from here. Go ahead.
So, physical agility test mandated by the state will be administered by the state police immediately. And there's a basic pre-employment physical, which is, I believe, already scheduled, but I'm not quite sure. The rigmarole with, the criminal records check, the background check business, the credit history, the polygraph, and all that other stuff will be handled for us at no direct cost by the state police, just as soon as this guy has gotten through the first 2 steps, that is, passing the physical, passing the agility test. Madame?
So, from start to finish, starting this today, how long are we looking before we could have this person actually working?
The pessimist in the room said, beginning
I am not a pessimist.
the pessimist in the room when we had this discussion said first of the year. I'm not in a position to evaluate that claim. Certainly we are not dragging our feet anymore.
I just have a question also. I don't know, you're not allowed to say who it is yet, or?
If you want to find out who we really, unanimous choices of the committee, by the way. No reservation or ambiguity. If you want to find out who that person is, all you need to do is go up to Commissioner's Garage and ask, because that's where I learned about how well he did. I'm not kidding. That was 2 hours later, and they already knew what was going on. But no, we're going to keep this. We're going to keep this under wraps.
Yeah.
Officially, in part because reputations of the folks that we did not choose are on the line, and there's no reason I can imagine to ding that. So that's what we're going to do.
No, you didn't, one of them you didn't have an interview with yet, so.
But you don't have his name.
No, but so you're not, are you gonna continue with that? No.
He
Okay.
would have shown up,
If he
because
could.
he sent back everything, he just didn't show up that day,
Right. So he did not call.
and didn't
That
call.
was number 4?
Yeah.
Well, actually, it was in the middle of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. 10:30.
Doesn't matter now.
Yeah.
I forgive him.
Doesn't matter to me.
So we think we're in pretty good shape. We really like the way the interview team worked together, and especially we're quite high about the results. So, and I took a look at the agility test. Most of us in this room could actually pass that, I think, except for the run in my age bracket. Might be tough, but it's
What's the run, how much did?
it's a mile and a half with a time limit that increases as you get older.
Yes, but what is
But
it?
it doesn't increase enough.
Oh.
We all hope for that time when our age.
There's probably only 1 month where we can all pass it. But I did look it up. It was kind of interesting.
But Bob had
learned, as Bob's agreed to say, but I learned too that it gets taken every 3 years as a condition of
Yeah.
remaining certified. So that's an upgrade, I think,
Yes.
for law enforcement. No more jokes about donut-shaped policemen. And I think that's good. And really, it's not onerous. It's not like joining the Marines. But it is a physical agility test because if you're going to be a cop, you may eventually have to chase somebody down the street. And so on and so forth. So sit-ups, push-ups, and a run. That's all it is. Numbers and time, numbers and time. And that's a public document if anybody wants to track it down. I just reviewed, we got legal advice back on the cruiser lease. It was a little more complicated than I would have liked. But in the end, the selectmen agreed to sign the lease immediately and forward it off. The legal advice was quite lengthy, and the guy said, you know, this lease actually kind of stinks. But he gave us a yellow light, said agreement. He said, go ahead and sign it under these conditions, understanding that the town will eventually prevail. But it might be expensive. The problem with the lease in his eyes, and he's done this for other municipalities, and he's done this with Ford Motor, is that there is a clause number 2, which any of you are welcome to look at, which basically says that the selectmen will move heaven and earth to make those lease payments, even in the event that the voters say, no, we can't do that anymore. Take it back.
Oh, dear.
And his legal interpretation of the state constitution is really clear about this, but he says it's probably legal litigation anyway. The selectmen can't do that. If the voters refuse to raise and appropriate that money, we can't take it from gravel, nor can we just write the check. So it's really clear. We decided we weren't going to pay him to try to argue with Ford Motor Company to change their national municipal lease on police cars. But it is kind of weird that this huge program has this crappy lease.
I thought we had a clause that we could bow out.
We do. That's number 9. And that is completely acceptable to our attorney. He says it's entirely consistent with the state statutes. So one of our options would be to cross out number 2.
Every one of them?
But I'm not going to do that.
It was good.
Because he says the risk is really low to
Okay.
us, to you, to me, that this will go wrong.
And they misspelled my name everywhere.
Consistent.
Yeah, so there's our out.
It wasn't really you.
And I followed suit, and I knew it was the other way
Any
around.
questions about that lease? We do have a VIN. Apparently the truck exists in Hillsborough. Anything in there he's not allowed to see? Any top secret communications from the mothership? Good.
I sent, that you were supposed to, that's right.
Dates for deliberative. We still good with a Saturday all-day event? Ladies and gentlemen? Yes. I really think it's terrific. If that's the case, then there's only one date that will fit the statutory criteria. And I think it's February 12th, but I'll double check that before we write it down and distribute it.
February 12th.
You can write it down, but I'm just trying to remember. I did propose it to my brother's selectmen.
It's in your email.
Yeah.
2016,
It's in
February
your
13th.
On the one in January,
13th?
It's the 13th.
Opposed
It's
to
the
17.
We'll have the budget hearing.
Oh, that'll take some research. There's another window there. I think we can. I don't think that's as critical.
No, the hearing isn't as critical as
But the one that we really want to set as early as possible in the year for a couple of reasons is the February one.
right.
And do you have that date I gave you, Rock? Is it the 12th or the 13th?
13th, Bobby said.
I've got the calendar right here, 2016.
I think it's the 13th.
Boy, guess
What day of the week is that, Bobby?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Thank you.
I think that's all. I've got 2 more in there.
Okay. Do you have a two in there?
Yeah.
No, it's not fiction. Yeah. I'll tell you what, that's in just a moment. 6th of February.
February 6th.
6th of February. The last possible day in the window,
Is 6,
6th of February, 2016.
so there's no snow date,
No.
No,
so that could be the date then?
that's going to be the day. The two reasons that I can think of for trying to pin this down as early as possible is one, for folks who are going to be away for most of the winter, they want to be able to schedule coming back. And I got myself into quite a kerfuffle with the school last year by not telling them 6 months ahead of time when I wanted to use the gym. So I want to avoid those two events there. We will try to pin down the budget hearing, which is the January event. Not nearly as critical to get that.
I think it just is a before a certain date on that one.
But it's a fixed number of days or more before the deliberative session. So we'll find out what that is and we'll report that out to you.
So is this accurate? Must occur, first session must occur between January 30th and February 6th. Okay.
Yeah.
And the last day to hold the one hearing on the budget is January 19th.
Right.
So last day for the budget is the 19th, but any time prior to that?
Yeah, 16th will not work for me.
We're talking January?
Yeah.
Okay. And we have stuff that occurs until the end of the year, right? Until December 31st is the end of the year date.
Fiscal.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we post the budget on, I don't know how that one reads, but we post the budget around the 28th of January.
Right, but we've already had a budget hearing for
We have
the
every
new year.
hearing before.
Right, before that.
Generally, we have our budget hearings, which are not particularly well attended most years, on a Tuesday night. If that's acceptable to everyone still, it doesn't have to be. Could be a Saturday. I would propose the 12th of January for our budget hearing,
I agree.
which is a Tuesday, which works with your schedule.
Gives us a couple weeks after the end.
And the budget hearing is a hearing. That means the budget is available for review, ideally well before that meeting, electronically, all over the world. And people can tell the selectmen how many different ways they're doing this wrong, or what should be bigger and what should be smaller. And we take that information under advisement and we use it to prepare the budget that we bring to February's meeting.
Okay, what's that date again, please?
January
12th, January 12th, budget hearing, 6 p.m., town offices, probably,
You're gonna do that here.
unless I hear an objection. I'm sorry, Mary Ann, you had not gotten on my agenda.
No, that's right.
Sitting there very patiently, and
That's so unlike me.
so unlike me.
No, we can, I
But the
think
problem is,
under AABC.
I'm feeling a little stunned by those things attached to your glasses, is what my problem is. It's very sparkly.
Oh, I made this. I have lots of them.
If someone like those, could they perhaps purchase them?
They
They could get them on the internet, perhaps.
Yeah.
So, and the date for voting is
March 8th.
March 8th.
second Tuesday in March. And there is no variability about that. That will be an all-day affair over at the firehouse.
Okay, March 8th.
March 8th. Tuesday.
It's early this year.
Could you make sure Gloria is aware of absentee,
Yes.
please?
And just to throw a monkey wrench into everything, well, that's all right, just that for my own curiosity, what is the deadline for submitting warrant articles to the public?
Great question.
Okay, I'll go tell you.
Okay. So we could probably,
We should get somebody to post all 4 of these dates on the internet.
that's a great
Yeah,
idea.
why don't you just, I'll post them on the
We'll figure
weekend.
that out, we'll do
Yeah.
that. All right.
Didn't happen.
You weren't supposed to let her get up.
Yeah. Wait till she sat down and come up with another
So
reason.
you're gonna put that date in the record here, right?
What, right?
Warrant article, because if this is published, on the internet and everything.
Right, but we don't have that date.
Then we see it now, but next week or something like that. Yeah, okay.
And we'll do, the important dates calendar for SB2 is already out, right?
No, actually, I had to ask. It isn't out yet.
Okay, so we will do a posting on the website with the dates dates we know, and then the state publishes an SB2 calendar every year. We'll throw that out there so you know what all those dates are throughout the year.
And we may or may not decide to shoot a postcard around with those dates at the end of the year.
We could collaborate with AAC.
Use up the rest of that.
Use up the other side of that postcard.
That's right.
Yeah, that's half of that sheet of paper.
One other date not related to the budget, but when there are, if I understand, 2 selectman positions coming up this next round, right? Yours is gonna,
Absolutely.
well, yours was for 1 year, and then there's a
Did he use the word
potential,
Did he say your
potential second one. Well, there is the
No,
second.
then
I
there's
think
one
you're
for
out,
Frank.
Roger.
Yeah.
And one for 2.
You're not running again?
So,
Yes,
one for 1 year, and then
Yeah,
one
one, yeah.
for 3, is that correct? That's my
Right.
question.
Right.
I believe that is correct.
Okay.
So that's weird. All right.
You
Yeah.
just go to the next one and then you have to take the rest of that one off.
I always imagined that one person was up every year, but this year.
Yes, you are,
Well,
but
But so
Mike,
is Joel.
Mike had 2 more years to go.
But I only get a year.
Here
You
we
only
go.
get a year till the next election.
it's not as complicated as she makes it sound.
That's all right. But
There will be
Chris,
2 positions.
Chris could, if there were that second one open, Chris could run for that one, right? Not run or run for the 1 year.
Absolutely true.
I want to see what Trump's numbers are at that point before I make these decisions.
You're gonna get out there and start the poll, boy.
I am sure hoping that doesn't show up in the minutes. Wireless pool update. They told me I was too old to use those swings.
Old?
That's what he said.
Oh, that's just an approximate age from the 5 to 12.
And anyway, the playground equipment is installed and painted fresh and looks very nice. They have a jolly installation crew.
Very, very good crew.
Swept in there and swept out.
Sunday was the first day that it was open, at 11 o'clock, and we had a good crowd in there all day. Families that, seen the new, Facebook page, heard about us, and spent the afternoon, and, so next year, I think we wish we could have gotten it in there earlier, but it's there. Next year, it'll probably be a lot more successful to the community, because we'll have the snack shack open and everything. It looks, if you haven't been, it is very, very nice. I know that some of you know the money that we've had to spend on this, and it may shock you that you don't see more equipment. But you gotta remember, we got this at a big discount. So when you see playgrounds, I now have a real respect for people that go out and raise money, like the PTAs, and stuff that go out and raise money for playgrounds. They say, how much money do you have to raise for these things? Can't be that much. I now know that's a lot of money and a lot of work, but it turned out real nice. Where our final event is this weekend, Saturday, it's the Music Festival. In fact, the stage is getting installed today and tomorrow, set up. Gates will open at 11, music will start at 1, we'll go to 9 o'clock. We'll have a small, I have to say, a small fireworks, because I don't want anyone to think that it's going to be one of these big things like Bell's Falls have. We haven't gotten to that point, it's our first year, but we'll have fireworks. Sunday will be the last day for the public to come to Vilas. Then the doors will be closed, but we will be open for some private weddings. We have 3 more private weddings at Vilas, and we'll be working on those. Otherwise, we've had a really good season. We're looking forward to next season.
You guys got a lot done this year. A lot of stuff. Thank you.
But we also spent a lot of money.
I know.
So we're hoping not to spend too much money. We're hoping just to look at a couple things, like improving the camping and working on the boathouse. That's our next project. And Steve is already in contact with somebody that has the licenses and things to be able to come and work in the water, and we'll be able to maybe get an idea of the cost, and then we'll come to talk to you guys about it.
The contractor this is old news, the contractor for dredging the gate area told me a couple of weeks ago that their intention was to start about the 15th of this month. We have a long and complicated communication with DES about draining the pond. But I don't have any fresh information to bring to this meeting. All that data is about 2 weeks old, but our permit still is valid. And the lawyers have approved the expenditure of a certain amount of money, and we have a bid that's a certain amount of money less than that, and it doesn't rain every day between now and then, even though we all wish it would.
Yeah. Now's a
The
good time.
the parameters won't change. The Fish and Game people are really concerned about when and how the pond gets lowered. The contractor doesn't care about any of that stuff, he just wants to get in there and do the work without getting in trouble. The people who run the pool are concerned about weddings and having an uninvited excavator at your wedding. And we're trying to balance all that stuff, and we will probably fail, but we'll get close.
The plot background, I always like that, the wedding shot with the big mud pit behind
Mountains of muck and old mattresses and tree trunks. Yeah.
Well, actually, all the people at the wedding, they've been notified that this could happen.
Thank you.
So they've all come out and looked at the park, thinking, no water, how are we gonna do our pictures?
Photoshop.
They've all agreed to that.
Yeah.
What about
We can take pictures this week and save them.
what about the cage?
The cage is in Sam Sutcliffe's desk, and he has received some guidelines from, I think, New Hampshire Fish and Game on how big the opening should be and blah, blah, blah. Bob Taylor's agreed to take it on. We won't have a design until the gate is exposed, which makes sense to me because nobody can actually remember how big it is.
I got the,
100 years ago, when we were doing this, there was regulations that you had to notify all the butters that you were going to open your gate. Now, I don't know if that's still in effect or not, but they had to do it all the way down to Chip Whitcomb's.
All the way down to Hartford, probably.
No, all the way down to Whitcomb's wash, gravel, but I don't know if you have to do that now.
Well, I'll follow up on that. The federal and state communications I've received so far make no mention of it. There is a New Hampshire RSA
I
about
was getting in trouble again with a big lawsuit because we didn't tell them.
I think we've tried to be as open about it as possible, but there's always room for more. So I'll make that my business to follow up on that. But I won't tell them that you remember that from 100 years ago. I'll just ask them.
But we almost got told on that one too.
So, HR.
Okay, well, I have some good news, and I have some better news. The good news is that we're progressing, and we're very, very close to completion. The better news is that we've been able to re-resurrect our intern, I think. She's currently at school, but has agreed to finalize one piece for us, and I should know by midweek next week. We are meeting next Thursday on the 17th. That's our next scheduled meeting. So hopefully by that time we will have just about everything put in place. We'd like to get an update from you, Chris, as far as the work part's concerned. Okay, we don't need it tonight. I'm just.
Oh, that's all right.
You just send me an email on it.
Did you guys have any changes you wish to make? That's, I thought were.
Rich, Levenko is supposed to be getting to you. There were some. He's actually going to be your point person for that piece of the project.
Okay, then I may not have received anything. I will give you my address again. Or you can give me his at the end of the meeting.
Yeah, I'll send you the whole committee, all three of them, okay?
Oh, yeah. I have not received anything, but it takes seconds to
All
do
right.
this, so that's no problem.
So we're real close.
Thank you in advance. Looking forward to it. Anything we should be doing to support your group?
No, I don't think so. Actually, if our intern stays whole, that's the big key to us because it wraps around job descriptions, and a lot of them aren't in Word, and you've got that conversion from a PDF format, and like all the fire ones, for example, are in PDF format. Well, my PDF converter double prints them, so it looks like one superimposed over another, so that's not going to work. So maybe I might have to send them to you. You said you had one. But other than that, we're trying to get them, you know, in the same format, so they all look similar, if you will.
Nice.
Because right now, they're different font, you know, they're a whole group of presentations, if you were to look at them. Okay, we're trying to get it in some simpler format, so that everybody can understand what they are. We're not changing anything, okay, we're just trying to get it, it's just formatting issue.
Cool.
And you guys are providing we talked about before, at least a sample of a employee manual that you guys felt was
Yes,
a
there
little
is.
better. Okay, that's part of the package.
Yes, there is.
We'll wait for it. No reason.
Finished the overview 10 minutes before I got here.
Questions for HR? Gratitude from other corners of the room? Terrific stuff. Thank you. Emergency management, anybody representing?
I got a note from Carol saying she probably would not be here.
I think she's still with guests.
Yeah.
And we have a meeting on the 10th.
On Thursday,
Right.
open to the public,
Yes, it is, 7 p.m.
7 p.m. Come on, come on. And you are still in fire mode?
We're still in fire mode. We may be there a while.
Oh, deserving of your attention.
And they're also still trying to get a general contractor to look at the firehouse door.
I did read that in the minutes.
Yep. I was just talking to her online a little bit today, see if there's anything else. And they are, as they said before, going to attend a FEMA grant writing course in Keene.
That's terrific.
Great.
That really is. Spread the load.
Yep.
Double ABC. That would be Miss Mary Ann Jackson
And
Wolf.
Glenn and Tommy back there. We're here to see if any of the three of you have questions, comments, suggestions for our quarterly report, which I emailed you this morning, but wrapped it in his thing.
I read it.
Joel has offered to reformat. I'm not sure what's wrong with formatting, but
Yeah, I wasn't sure yet.
something he
Well, it looks better on this piece of paper than it did on my screen. That's all that matters.
It was, last week, Barbara and Marge were our fresh eyes. They hadn't read it, and so that was helpful. They actually did take out the paragraph they didn't like, but it was helpful.
Thanks for your help.
I'm glad "Don't Freak Out" is still in all caps.
Yeah.
Right. Prominently displayed. So I think that's important.
I think, that said, this is sort of an educational piece, which is what we feel is appropriate because of the reevaluations. I don't know, Brad, how's it read to you?
It reads all right. I mean,
Ask Linda after it goes out. She'll probably get a lot of comments.
I mean, the don't freak out does stand right out. Nothing's, I mean, that's all true, so.
Does that, I mean, I'm just thinking, you know, you guys and Linda and Kelly are all gonna get a lot of flack when the tax rate goes up, because people don't get it.
Well,
And it doesn't mean they're gonna get it after reading this either, but at
they
least
don't
they
have an opportunity to get it.
Right.
I actually think the taxes are going down, we
Well,
won't
would you
get.
just turn around and say that to the internet? So that, you know, they won't forget you said that.
We'll be expecting that one.
I really do think,
For all you folks in the dark back there, you want me to just read this to you?
Yeah.
Or you want to wait till it comes?
Because I haven't.
So it's headline Alstead Advisory Budget Committee quarterly communication. It says in bold, the property revaluations are out, and chances are that yours went down. What was your reaction? Was it, oh no, my house is not worth as much as I thought, or was it, great, my property taxes will go down? If you thought either of these, you are probably wrong. I like that.
that was Sam.
That's sad.
Very
Tax evaluations are based on house size, age, condition, number of bedrooms, bathrooms, lot size, view, and location. Tax evaluations and market values do not always correspond. In Alstead's reevaluation, the New Hampshire Department of Revenue Administration, acronym provided, determined our assessments were about 8% higher than market value. Many of our evaluations were lowered to ostensibly be more in line with market value. What will this do to our taxes? Maybe not much, but it